Okay, perfect. All right. Good morning, friends. It's lovely to see you. I think I know just about everybody on this call. I'm Allison Campbell, the Heritage Outreach Manager at the Washington State Historical Society, and my colleague Jay is here, whom most of you know, I'm sure. And we're delighted to convene you all this morning to share a little bit about our new affiliate program and to hear what kind of questions you've got, because that's really helpful as we kind of tighten up our messaging around this. I mean, Carol immediately asked some great questions about, like, do we have to come in person? You know, gosh, we didn't even think about mentioning that, of course, there will be virtual options for some of this professional development we're doing and that kind of thing. So your questions are super valuable to us. And I'm delighted to say today that we're joined by Ashley and Ray, who are from the American Association for State and Local History, joining us from Nashville. And so they'll chime in a little bit to share just about some of the resources available through ASLH to organizations who join our affiliate program and have annual operating budgets below $250,000 annually. All of you can join ASLH, of course, and we hope you do and encourage you to. But if you are from one of the smaller museums, we have negotiated a discount on membership with ASLH as a sort of added benefit. So we're going to just kind of do an overview of all the reasons you should join us in this new program. And then Jay will talk a little bit about what I think are very modest expectations for participation, and a little bit about the process for getting signed up. Do please interrupt me at any point, or any of us at any point, with questions. Like all of our programs here, this can be pretty informal and casual, and I doubt we'll take the full hour unless we just get a really great conversation going. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Thumbs up if you can see that. Perfect. Okay. Great. So, new little logo, right? Let's start by, how's this? Okay, great. Let's start by just going through maybe a little bit of the origin for this new program, a little bit of history of how we got here, and then some of the benefits. So some of you may have been familiar with the affiliate program that was previously run through our membership department. So it was a paid program. You basically joined for a certain amount of dollars every year, and I think it was kind of a sliding scale. And then you got, got some of these same benefits, and then some additional benefits like discounts on Columbia Magazine, and things like that. And we kind of internally started talking about ways that we could better connect our heritage organizations across the state together and to resources in a program that was free and just more accessible to everybody. And so this is sort of what we came up with. And again, some of these benefits will be familiar from the previous program, and some of those benefits are not listed here. And our development philanthropy department does still have some nonprofit membership options that you could explore if you're interested in that paid program and some of those additional benefits. But we're going to focus on this free program that's going to be run out of the outreach office and kind of run parallel to a lot of the resources we've already been providing to y'all. So what do you get by joining our free affiliate program? You get your organization listed on our website with a logo and a link. Jay and I have been talking. We'll probably update these monthly. So if you join on November 5th, and we just updated it yesterday, you might have to wait a few weeks, but just to kind of manage our own capacity to keep this as current as possible. But we do commit to you all that we will keep it updated and current. So, we're hoping that for people looking for local history opportunities anywhere in the state, they can come to this website and find you, right, if you're in their community. We have some networking events that we're going to plan just for our affiliate members, and we will come to you all. So we'll do them across the state. And, I know so a lot of you attended my kind of listening sessions in the early days of the pandemic and just might remember the kind of comfort I think we all felt in being together, sharing, commiserating. And while hopefully the worst of the last 2 years is behind us, I think that there's still a lot of benefit in getting to know who's doing history work in your area, make new friends that you can call on if you have questions. Yeah, that's kind of spirit of collegiality that we really want to kind of develop across the state amongst our organizations. You all know that we do the Common Concerns programs. We're about to kick back into a new season of those. Those will kind of be open to everybody, regardless of your affiliate status. They're just free. We really want to get that information out there. But we do have some plans for some special field trips that we want to organize for affiliate members and that kind of thing. Hopefully you saw my invitation to the behind the scenes collections tour at the State Historical Society. We're planning one on the east side of the state, and there will be other things like that. We want to do some visits to some tribal museums across the state, really have a chance to go in and visit those museums and hear from their staff and ask questions and share ideas. So we're kind of noodling on all sorts of things that we're excited to plan for this group. A discount on the Pacific Northwest History Conference. We just are on the heels of a really successful conference out in Tri-Cities. We know that resources are limited and time is limited, particularly for our smallest museums, but we'd love to encourage more participation in that conference. The next one will be in 2024 in Oregon, and we should all go. It's going to be a blast. And then a benefit that you may remember from the original program through philanthropy is the option to have your rat cards in the lobby at the State History Museum here in Tacoma. You would be amazed how often I walk out of our office and find people staring at that wall of rat cards and pulling down the ones that, that they're going to take home and hopefully make plans to go visit. So, it seems like kind of a little thing, but it's great visibility given the amount of visitation that we get here. Jay, am I forgetting anything?
No, I think that's it. I mean, we have some other thoughts and ideas that are brewing, but we wanted to kind of get the program launched sooner rather than later. So this is what we knew we could offer kind of right away. But we hope to provide more benefit and opportunities as we grow the program and hopefully grow our staff and other exciting things in the future.
Yeah, I hesitate to mention some of the things we're talking about, but I'd love to. But things that we've been hearing from you guys, just areas that you need support. We know, for example, that the downloadable kind of panel exhibits are something that many of you used. The most recent one we did was the suffrage centennial exhibit. Of course, that's not something those aren't things that Jay and I can just whip together. It requires the support of our exhibit staff here at the History Museum. But just know that some of those things that we've been hearing are on our mind, and we're doing what we can behind the scenes to get those resources back out. I can't see everybody, Jay. So if you notice anybody, let's see if maybe I can extend my. Okay.
No hands yet, and I've been letting people in from the waiting room, so we're good to go.
Okay, but I see Carol just raised her hand.
Allison, can you tell me a little bit more about the rack cards? Do they have to be a certain design and size, or are they just your brochures, or what do you mean by rack cards?
Yeah, they do kind of have to, well, ideally they're that traditional, and I wish I could tell you the dimensions. I can go and measure one later, but they're usually like maybe 4 by 11, the long skinny ones. We can get you those exact dimensions. But those are great, and they can be like trifold ones, or they can just be a single two-sided kind of thing. But those are what we have kind of the sleeves for on our big wall in the lobby at the History Museum. But there are we could probably accommodate some additional sizes. And I know printing is expensive and that kind of thing. I mean, if you just wanted to print them out and trim them on your printer, maybe on cardstock at the museum, and bring them over to us, or we can get them from you at one of our wonderful field trips or networking events. We can plan to just pick them up and bring them back to the lobby. But yeah, I know we have Fort Silicon ones up there frequently, Fort Nisqually, you know, the folks who are kind of in our area and able to drop them off. We're excited to put them out. People are always really interested. Is that helpful, Carol? I know I wasn't precise. You always ask the hard questions. We'll get you.
That's fine. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll get you a decision there. Oh, Google says 4x9. All right. I was close. 3x11 or okay. So I want to just talk quickly about kind of discounts that we have available for ASLH, and then I'm going to let Ashley jump in. So this has been a conversation, honestly, for years and years that Jennifer, our director, has been having with the folks at ASLH. I don't know, raise your hand if you, oops, sorry. Raise your hand if you're currently an ASLH member, personally, or your organization. Okay, great. DuPont is awesome. Raise your hand if this is the first time you're hearing about this organization. Yeah. Okay, so you all are kind of familiar. Perfect. So this is sort of our perfect. Thanks, Greg. This is sort of our professional organization for local and state history. And I've been going to this conference for years. It's my favorite. I can go on about the size and the content. But membership in ASLH comes with all kinds of benefits that are really focused on helping history organizations get to best practices, you know, push their professional development, grow, thrive, all of that. So the conversations that are happening at ASLH are conversations that we're all probably having in our local organizations, but just, you know, with other players and other voices, and it's a really important organization. So we wanted to see what we could do to kind of help give y'all access to all of the resources that they offer. So we kind of did a lot of math and a lot of kind of number crunching to figure out how, you know, where everybody kind of where the bulk of our organizations fell in terms of annual operating budget. And this is what we worked with ASLH to come up with. So if you have less, if your operating budget is $50,000 or less, you can become an organizational member, institutional. I can't remember if they call it institutional or organizational. Ray will clarify that for us. At $60 a year, which is about a 39-cent discount. And then there's lots of free benefits that Ashley can talk about that come with your basic membership. And then there are some additional things like the annual conference, right, that you have to pay extra for. And for that, we can offer a 40% discount, right? And then if you have if your operating budget falls somewhere between $50,000 and $250,000 a year, we've negotiated this kind of stepped up, but still significant, almost 20% discount on your annual membership. So with all that said, I'm going to introduce Ashley. Ashley, your title is Director of Professional Development, something like that?
Yes, sort of. It's Senior Manager for Professional Development.
Gotcha. Senior Manager for Professional Development. I knew it was in that realm. Awesome, Ashley. I'm going to, was there anything that you wanted to share on your screen, or can I just stop sharing? And
Yes, I would need to share this screen.
Okay, great. Let's make you a co-host. There we go. Already done. Perfect.
Okay. All right. Well, again, good morning to you all. It's afternoon here. I'm Dr. Ashley Balknight-Claybrooks. Again, I'm the Senior Manager for Professional Development at ASLH. And I am really excited to be able to share all of the wonderful benefits that we have. And we have a lot. We have a lot to offer. What's great about ASLH is that even though we're a national organization, you still have the accessibility to us like we're a small town institution. That's always been the draw for me. I've been affiliated with the organization even before I was officially a staff member. I volunteered on all of the organizations for years. And so I am a true believer of the benefits because I've used them myself at my institution and for myself as an individual historian. So let's talk about some of these awesome benefits. So as a member, you automatically get access to history news. Now, what's great about history news is these articles are not written by staff. This is from folks in the field, your peers, people from various size institutions, academic backgrounds. And so you just get a plethora of knowledge from across the country. These are some of the most recent issues. And these have been great putting these together. I mean, just the hard-hitting topics, the feel-good stories, you get just about everything in these. And these are just going to be essential to connecting you to institutions all across the country. Now, one of my favorite pieces of history news is technical leaflets. I cannot begin to explain to you all how useful these leaflets are. As a matter of fact, technical leaflets were my first introduction to ASLH. They have these very nuts and bolts kind of overview of how to do something. And it's great because they're also written by peers in your field. Problems that we have, that we face in various places, your peers are walking you through how to alleviate these challenges. And they're easy to read, very bullet point, straightforward, none of that academic fluff language. We're talking about just plain language, how to solve the issues that you have at your institutions. That was one of the reasons why ASLH felt really good to me, because you had pieces like this that spoke my language. And so I've been using these for years, and even if you are just getting into the field, or folks who are seasoned historians, you can find something helpful about technical leaflets. And there's a copy of this in every history news, and you can also access the back issues on the Resource Center as a member of ASLH. And we're almost at 300 as far as our leaflet, so you got a lot to peruse through. We also have online courses. Now, our online courses, these are some great topics. We're talking about things that, people need every day in institutions, like introduction to financial management. You're a small institution, you don't have access to the huge CPA firms, but you need to understand how to set up those budgets, how to manage the collections budget, the interpretation budget. This course will walk you through how to do that. And it's an introductory course. Again, none of the, it teaches you the language that's used in that course, but it comes at you as if you are just getting into it. You're really trying to understand the baseline of it. It's a great course. Another one, for example, is Basics to Archives. Small institution, you have those boxes in the corner that have been collecting dust for years, not quite sure how to properly store it. You don't really have access to the high-end archivist services. You need to understand how to just categorize your papers and your archival material. This is the course for you. And you have other courses like developing exhibitions, a ton of other courses that gives you the basics. And these courses are part of that affiliate discount that you get. You're going to get 40% off these courses. That is a huge discount, one of the largest discounts that we've ever offered on any of these courses. And they're offered to you through your affiliate membership. Please take advantage of these. Again, these are written by peers in the field. We have hand selected these instructors for their expertise. So you are getting some of the best information in these topics that you can have access to. We also have webinars. If you're more interested in a little bit more discussion, you want a little more interactive experience, we have both free and paid webinars. Again, with your membership and with your affiliate discount, you get 40% off of those webinars. But we also offer a host of free ones. So we have things like, if you're interested in presenting at a conference. We have a new webinar, absolutely free, and it's coming up soon. How to submit a successful conference session proposal. So again, those nuts and bolts sessions, really trying to get you to interact with staff, with peers in your field, on some of your basic topics. Also, if you're interested in STEPS, which we'll get to in a second, we have an orientation about what exactly is STEPS and how can that be applicable to my institution. Another program that we have is what is our ASLH Leadership Awards. I know everyone has been doing some great things at your institution, and we've seen wonderful projects, and we want you to be a part of that group. So we walk you through, how do you get your institution recognized for all the wonderful things that you've been doing? And we walk you through that process step by step. So that's just an example of some of the free ones. But if you go to our resource page on our website, you'll see a plethora of other webinars that you'll be able to register for as they become available. And please raise your hands if you need, if you have questions or need me to slow down. There's a lot of information. One of the topics that we brought back, and I'm really excited about this, we have now our on-site workshops. Now, if you love the webinars, you love the courses, but you need to see someone in person, I know I prefer to kind of hang out with the experts, really pick their brains. These are the places to do that. We have 3 workshops coming up. One is on project management, and we have 2 on reimagining historic house museums. These are some of our longer running on-site workshops, but I have taken them many times, and they are wonderful. You always learn something new out of them. And they are taught by some serious experts in historic house museums. I am really excited about them and that they're coming back. And these are also for folks, and no matter what level of expertise you're in, you can find these interesting. And I think what's great about the on-site workshops is not only do you get to interact with the facilitators, but also your peers in the workshop. There's time for discussion, for you to get assistance with your issues at your particular site. And it's a full day workshop. So you really get to tackle some of those topics that you don't always get to do on the virtual experiences. Okay, so here's the big one. Here's STEPS. So this is one of our larger programs, if not the largest program that we have in professional development. For those of you all who are not familiar with STEPS, STEPS stands for Standards and Excellence Program for History Organizations. Now, most people are just familiar with this very large workbook, but this workbook can be your saving grace. When you're a small institution, you can't get to the larger experts. This book is really a full course toolkit on what you can do to handle various situations. It's a self-study program, which is great. We have options where if you need more assistance, we can help provide you with that. But if you want to be more on your own, or you want to work in a group with other institutions, you're more than welcome to do that too. We really want to make sure that the work plan is flexible. That's really the key to this, because we don't want people to feel like they are stuck in one section, that they can't move around. You work through the book as you feel most comfortable. And what's also great about it is that it is created specifically for mid-sized to small institutions. So if you're only a group of volunteers, or you only have about 2 to 3 folks, this is a great resource tool for you. And also, there's no deadlines. There's no application deadlines for this. So you can apply for this, and once you're in the STEPS program, you're in it. There's no reapplying that's required. So here is the fee for STEPS. But remember, for you all, you get 40% off this discount, off this price. So scratch that $195. That is not your price. You're 40% off of that. And that is a one-time fee. And with that enrollment, you get a workbook for your institution. You have the opportunity to earn certificates as you go through. That way you can help track your progress, and we can help recognize you all for your progress. You also have access to our STEPS online community. So if you have questions, you want to connect with other institutions from across the country who are doing the same projects you're doing, you got the online community. And this is all included in that membership price. I wanted to give you a little snippet of what the updated version of the book looks like. Now, this is a new workbook that we've just recently acquired. I really love the updated version because now it has this wonderful glossary. I don't know how many times I've gone through some of the books and I'm like, there's no definition for this word. What do they mean by conscious bias? What do they mean by CMS system? Now you have a glossary to help you through those. And we've also incorporated topics like diversity and inclusion, but we've woven those through the sections. So they're not like little piecemeal inclusivity and diversity sections. You're gonna find those topics covered within each of these standards, which is great. So you don't have to figure out, am I being inclusive? Am I talking about diversity and accessibility? That's already built into the workbook. Topics that are covered. As you can see, there's a long list, and this is probably not an exhaustive list, but I kind of picked through some things that people find interesting. So you're looking to write a new mission statement. We can help you with that. You're looking to figure out how to write a collections policy. We can help you through that. You turned on the lights and found out you might have a pest problem. We can help you navigate through that. I have worked in my fair share of historic homes, and I never thought zookeeper and would be a part of my title, but they teach you how to navigate all of these issues. And that's one of the great components of the workbook. Some of the things that we've heard that we really want to emphasize is when you're going through steps, you're not by yourself. There are tons of institutions that are working on this with you. And just like one of our local institutions, the Grassmere Historical Farm in Nashville, which is located within a zoo, I didn't, segue. They really love that they could talk to each other, and Tori states how it's great camaraderie. Working with other institutions to tackle these problems, you don't feel like you're alone. And that is an added benefit that we didn't initially think about, but we found that it became a great tool in helping people get through the program. We'll skip some of these. Is my organization in a rut? And that's one of the questions you ask yourself. Do you want to try to get through some of these tough issues, day-to-day challenges, larger issues? STEPS is one of those workbooks that helps you through the small issues as well as the larger ones. And it is for people in various different backgrounds who work in your museum. So you don't have to just be the CEO. You could be someone who works with volunteers. You could be someone who works the grounds. The folks who works the grounds of the institutions, they can also use STEPS. There's something in it for everyone. And I think that it's actually even more helpful if more people from different areas of the museum or your institution work together, because that added multiple perspective when you're going through the workbook really makes for a more rich end product, which is great. So another one of the added benefits, History Leadership Institute. I wanted to bring this up because I know that there are a lot of folks who are looking to really increase their leadership skills. You're at a small institution, you really want to see, how can I take my leadership skills to the next level? And we have the History Leadership Institute. It is a 3-part program. First being a seminar that with 18 associates, you go 2 weeks in person, 2 weeks online for that really in-depth conversation. We do a half-day forum at the annual meeting where we discuss some of these leadership topics and how to become a better leader in your field. We also offer online courses that are more self-paced. We also have courses that have facilitators led. But these are courses and these are programs where if you want to just give yourself a little bit more of a boost, History Leadership is where to do it. Again, there's a virtual component, 1 week online, 2 weeks in person, just to give you an idea of what the online version looks like. We are talking about topics from across the field, how to incorporate leadership in every facet of your institution. And we also have the in-person component where you're in Indianapolis for 2 weeks. We bring expert ins from all across the country who have a strong eye on leadership and how to develop those skills, everything from strategic planning to collections management. And the goal for History Leadership Institute is how do we make good decisions on every level of your institution? If that is a takeaway, that would be it for about History Leadership Institute. The last program I want to tell you about is ARCIS. Now, this is a newly acquired program, which I think is going to be an absolute rock star in our professional development lineup, because this is a fully self-paced program, which is different from our current online offerings. The ARCIS programs are, like I said, are fully self-paced, and they are created for emerging to mid-level professionals. So if you are just getting into the field, or you need a little bit of a refresher because you've been transitioning into new roles, now you have to take on multiple hats, we have courses that are created that will help you through the nuts and bolts of getting through topics in your institution. Let's see. And they're for institutions of all sizes, which is great. Again, scratch these prices. These don't apply to you. You get 40% off that member rate, which is awesome for you all. And so we're going to be pulling out these courses through 2025. So we've released the first 3, and 3 more will come out in the spring of next year. And they are going to be great courses. So the first courses are on DAI, Native American interpretation, as well as accessibility. Again, these courses, the instructors were hand chosen to create the content, and they are self-paced. And when you're done, you'll be able to have a certificate of completion showing that you went through each of these courses, with the option of registering for the higher level courses if you would like to. So here's the idea of the courses that are coming up: LGBTQ+ inclusion, team building, how to do fundraising. So as you can see, we have a wide variety of courses, but they're for folks who just need the basics. If you just need the basics, ARCIS is where it's at. I love these courses. I help hand select them, and so I am fully committed to them, and I think they're great. And these are peers in the field who are noted for these topics. So you're talking about people who know these topics inside and out. And they're willing to dedicate their time to write the content so that they could be understood from no matter what expertise level that you're at. I think we'll skip those. Oh, questions. If you have questions, please feel free to email me. Here's my email address here. And also my colleague in the department, Ava Young, their email address is also listed here, and we could help you through those topics. But we'll have Ray to come on to talk about how to sign up with your specific discount code. That's all I got.
Ashley, that was awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem.
And so we might have Dr. Ashley back to talk more about STEPS. But I just want to say a couple of things about a few points that she made. If you are not familiar with the STEPS program, it's just a phenomenal. When I worked at Fort Nisqually, we went through the STEPS program, and it basically, when we came time to apply for our accreditation with the American Alliance of Museums, we'd already done all the work. Like steps had gotten us to that point, right? That we were so confident in all of our core documents and all of our management procedures and all of it that accreditation was almost a piece of cake because ASLH had really helped us do all of that work. So I can't recommend it enough. And it might be helpful to know if it's something that your organization is sort of thinking of or considering working on. Just shoot me an email, because we also would love to kind of help form those cohorts, and so that, you know, we can kind of connect folks who are all getting started on this. I know of some folks who are already in the process and have been working on it for a few years, but we'd love to know who's ready to get started. I can't say enough about exactly what Ashley said about the accessibility of these materials. I know some of you, you know, have been working in museums and volunteering in museums for a long time. And for some of you, lots of our colleagues, you know, they're recently retired and museums are just kind of a passion, but they're just still learning about how they work. And the ASLH materials are just really accessible. I never feel like they're written for somebody with a PhD, you know, that I find them very accessible. And then, so a few years ago, I bet that Joe was there. Did you attend the ASLH workshop we did a few years ago? I think it was on like caring for military firearms. Does that sound familiar?
I can't remember it. That's due to my advanced age.
I think it was in like maybe 2019 that we hosted one of the workshops that Ashley mentioned that kind of happened around the country. And so, hey, look, if we really boost our membership, we can, you know, maybe host more of these workshops closer to home. So we'd love to be a part of making sure that, you know, our needs are being heard, and we can hopefully invite ASLH out to the Pacific Northwest more regularly to do some of this programming for us. So strength in numbers, right? Let's do it. I think that's all of the things I wanted to touch on. Any questions for Ashley or Jay? Yeah.
I'll just briefly comment that in discussions about our affiliate program internally, we're really excited to partner with ASLH because they offer such great tools and resources that we didn't feel like we needed to sort of reinvent all of that and like do all new information and programming around some of these core topics. So we wanted to utilize their resources in our state. But that said, if there are areas where you want to engage more deeply and you feel like you might need support from the State Historical Society and our team, we would love to kind of help you access these resources, particularly steps, as Allison was mentioning, kind of getting cohorts together and helping with that. So this is not meant to be sort of a separate thing, but a thing that is kind of a program of the affiliate program, if that makes sense.
And none of this will replace our own Common Concerns program series. You know, sometimes the topics will overlap with things that are available through ASLH, but if you've attended those programs, you know, we've kind of created a sense of like safe community in that space. And so I think there's still a lot of value in like hashing through and working through some of these common, you know, museum challenges we're all facing together. So yeah, Joe has a question or comment.
Yes, Ashley, your history news, including the technical leaflets, I assume that's sent digitally to each organization, and then we can share it with our members?
Absolutely. And so what I will also encourage, if you have staff at the institution, is so once you have that institutional membership, ask your staff members to create their own profile within that, because then they would get their own copy of history news with that technical leaflet. So you get a hard copy and the digital version.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a hard copy of history news. It's actually, I'm like, paper, but I love it. It's like one of the few things that comes in my mailbox that I actually read. That's great. Any other questions or comments or thoughts? Yeah, Kevin.
Yes. So to get the reduced rate, do we sign up through how do we get that?
Yeah, we're going to get to that. Perfect segue. Thank you, Kevin.
and then one more question. Is there, one of the things we're interested in doing is getting past perfect.
Yeah.
And I think you get a discount if you're a member. Does the organizational membership you talk about that we would get through WSHS, does that include that discount? That qualify for that?
I believe your ASLH discount will give you, Ray can probably help us.
Yeah, you would get the Past Perfect discount through the organizational membership or institutional membership. There would not be an additional membership or discount for affiliates for Past Perfect since that's their product, not ours. But you would get the discount that all ASLH members get.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we can't offer you an additional 40% off on Past Perfect because their own thing. But yeah, that's great. And thank you, Kevin, for mentioning that additional benefit. We can send out more information just about the Past Perfect discount for all ASLH members, just so people are aware of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So we're going to send it over to Jay now to talk a little bit about the process for joining our affiliate program. And then Ray will kind of explain on ASLH's end what you need to do to get that kind of additional discount. You want me to share my screen, Jay?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and share your screen real quick, and then I'll share mine after that. So as Allison mentioned, we do have some what we think are fairly modest participation requirements. So, and as she mentioned before, it had been a paid program, but we want it to be free and accessible, but we do want some buy-in from our participants. So the main sort of two things that we're asking folks to do is to complete an annual survey or census. Some of you may have participated in the one that Allison led 2019, 2020 that sort of bridged the pandemic and was a sort of wild data set that we got. We want to keep that going, and so that we can understand sort of the state of heritage organizations in our community and understand where folks are at. So hopefully it won't take too long. I mean, we're planning for it to be a fairly thorough kind of question set about your operations, your collections, programming, staff, just these different data points. And of course, have an opportunity for you to kind of mention any concerns or specific, something specific to your organization you'd like us to know. So we anticipate that being once a year through the Heritage Portal, which I will talk about in a moment. And so that will kind of be your subscription renewal, is submitting that from our perspective. In the affiliate program is submitting that survey or census. And then the other thing we would really like for you to do, or will be requiring you to do, is to just attend some of our programming. And we're starting with requiring 3 per year for any of your staff or volunteer representatives. And that's just so that we know that you're participating and learning and staying in touch with us. So we don't anticipate anyone who's signing up for the affiliate program will have any trouble with this, because you're all already engaged in that way. We just wanted to formalize it a little bit of having a participation requirement for the programming that we're offering. I think that's the only slide for that, and I will jump to.
You want me to stop sharing so you can talk?
Yeah, I will jump to my screen. So the way that you sign up for the program is through our Heritage Portal. And this is what the landing page or the sign-in page looks like. If you already have a Heritage Portal account, for instance, you've applied for an Heritage Capital Projects grant or a DLH grant from us, then you already have a login. You don't need to sign up again. You just need to log in here in the screen. If you have never used this before, on the right-hand side here, there's a button for create an account now. I'll also note that there's a link to a video here that does a much longer walkthrough than we'll do right now. But basically, if you click on the create an account, it asks you to identify yourself essentially as a heritage organization. And then it has all these fields to fill out, you know, about yourself, about the organization, and some basic info. So that gets sent to me and I approve it. And each person from the organization should have their own login. And the reason we require approval, it takes, you know, if it's while I'm sitting at my desk, it could be right away, but it could be up to 24 hours. The reason we require approval is because I link all of the users together in the same organization on our side. So if one person registers and then another person registers, I link them together so they're seeing the same information and forms for that organization. So once you are logged in, this is what you will see. And we've added this button here on the landing page to register to become an affiliate. So I mentioned that other video that kind of goes through the whole, it orients you to this left-hand menu and kind of explains each of the categories here. So I wanted today to focus on this register to become an affiliate button. So it asks you to select your organization, and this is my sample organization. And so you select the organization, you hit save, and it connects to your organization profile that already exists that you filled out, you know, on the first registration page, and then kind of imports that information into the form for you for these first two sections. And then the next couple of sections are just basic information about your organization, what type of organization you would primarily define yourself as. We have two questions about this. One is your primary, and kind of then select all that are secondary, because we know a lot of folks are Heritage Society, are also an archive, are also a historic site. So pick all of the ones that apply to you in the second one, but that one that you mainly identify for the first one that has like only select one option. Then a few stats about your budget, staff, and volunteers. This budget question is how we will determine to either send you to AASLH or not, as far as the budget cap on those benefits. So that's kind of how we will be sending our info to AASLH. And then the website profile. So we've asked for basically one paragraph short description. We want to keep it, keep it poppy and accessible. So it's got a character limit here. And this is what will directly go on our website. We're planning to make it a Google map with pins that people click on. They see your logo, have a link to your website, and see this short paragraph description. And then add a logo. Use these plus buttons here to upload your logo so that that can be added to the Google map. And then we have a last section here about AASLH. You're a member, you've been a member, you've never been a member, you don't know what it is. So this will just help us orient our affiliates and help us decide what support you all need or introduction to AASLH that you need. So if you are a member, we do ask for your number so that we can, again, send that info to Ray over at AASLH so that he can integrate you into their membership system efficiently. And then we just have a few checkboxes to see what you use from AASLH if you are a member or have been a member in the past. Or even if not, if you've never been a member, but maybe you've found access to some of the technical leaflets or some other, or attended a conference, even if you haven't been a member, that's great too. So once you fill this out, hit save and close. And then it is a little bit confusing. It's a two-step. You have to save it and then also submit it. You can save it and come back to it, which is great. And you'll see it. I put this little reminder up at the top. Don't forget to hit submit when you're ready. This one's empty, so it'll probably come up with an error. I won't hit submit. But once you have hit save and close, you'll see that form here under affiliate registration on the side. So, and you can kind of revisit it or edit or submit. So that's the basics of the portal. And if anyone has any questions, happy to answer those, but maybe we'll just throw it to Ray real quick to kind of talk about the AASLH membership structure, or just interface. And I will say that Ray and I have been chatting, and our basic plan is for me to kind of take the data you submit here in sort of a spreadsheet format for, with those membership numbers and organization names, and send them over to Ray so that you can get integrated into their system. And so I'll turn it over to Ray to talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, thank you, Jay. Would I be able to get the screen sharing ability, or it looks like I do have it?
I think we didn't restrict it. You might be able to, but I can definitely make you a co-host.
No, it is there. Can you all see my screen now?
Yep, looks good.
Good. So yeah, so like Jay said, we're going to be receiving that information from WSHS, and then using that, getting you set up in our system, and using that to reach out to you with discount codes to allow you to sign up at the discounted rates and to sign up for the professional development that Ashley discussed as well at discounted rates. I did also want to just briefly touch on a couple things that aren't really included in the professional development discounts that Ashley went over. So this is going to include member pricing at the ASLH Career Center. We have a career center that we allow our members to post jobs in for discounted rates. It's seen by lots of people around the country. We get thousands of views a day on our career center and our jobs there. And then we have the 3 potential CMS corporate associate discounts. I know someone asked about Past Perfect earlier, and we do still offer that, but for the last year or so, we've also offered discounts from Catalog IT and Collector Systems. So if people are interested in any of those 3, you can work as an ASLH member, you can get those discounts as well. And then I did want to mention that next year, our annual conference is going to be in Boise. So depending on what part of Washington state you're in, could be just about in your backyard. And even if you're all the way in Seattle, I know it's not that long a drive because I'm from Seattle and I had friends in Boise growing up. So I make that drive about once a year. The call for proposals is open already, and they're due December 9th. So if you do have an idea for something you'd like to present in Boise, I would suggest starting to work on that, starting to find people that you can work on that with soon. I'm really excited to be going back to Boise. I haven't been in a long time, so hope to see a lot of you there for that. Sorry, the screen sharing is messing up my, can you see the ASLH titles from Roman and Littlefield now?
Yes.
Okay. So we do have also an agreement with Roman and Littlefield where they publish books in our book series, and all of our members will get a 20% off discount on all of those books. You can find that list on the Roman and Littlefield website. This is just some of the upcoming ASLH titles and ones that have been recently published. I know we have a webinar coming up about the Changes Required book. That I think that might even be today. But we have a lot of great titles in this Roman and Littlefield series. And when you become an ASLH member, you're provided with the discount code to receive those discounts. When you do get signed up as an ASLH member, when you want to use some of those discounts, you can go to the membership center login. And it'll take you to this page. You'll have your username and password. I'm not going to sign in with that because I'm signed in already to one of our test accounts. So as an institutional profile, this is what your managed profile section will look at. You'll be able to edit your bio, change first names, last name. If there's a new contact at the institution, you can change that. We also collect some demographic information about institutions that are willing to provide that, so you can change that information here. This is also where Ashley mentioned you can have your staff members set up under the umbrella of the institutional organization. So this is where you can go to add those staff members. It's really easy. You just type in email addresses and they're sent invitations that will then attach them to the account. This is also, once you're a member, this is where you'll go when it's time to renew your membership. And the membership center is also where you'll go to register for events, whether it's the annual conference or if you're coming to this year's virtual conference. And then it's actually down right now for maintenance, but usually when you're signed into the membership center, you can then toggle over to the resource center. And this resource center is where you're going to go for all of the resources that Ashley mentioned in her presentation. You'll use the same username and password that you're using for the membership center with single sign-on, be able to register here. When you're registered, the member pricing will automatically come up, and then we'll provide you with those WSHS discounts as well to make sure that you get the 40% off as well. So that's pretty much all I wanted to show today as far as using those resources. Do you have any questions?
Great. Yeah, thanks, Ray. And just to clarify, so we'll be sending the registration info that you've sent to us over to Ray, and then they'll follow up kind of directly with you about if you are a current member, kind of your login status. And if they are a new member, if they're looking to get a new membership, Ray, I assume you'll just be able to send them the link and the discount code to get that discounted membership, right?
Yeah, that's
so
correct.
We're happy to help you navigate all of that. I mean, essentially, we just want to make sure that we're communicating with Ray efficiently. So we're, contact them directly or us, and we'll be kind of trading data back and forth throughout the year just to make sure kind of both of our roles look the same, to make sure that everyone who's signed up is getting the benefits that that they're eligible for. So with that, any questions about the kind of technical membership access piece, or anything maybe for Dr. Ashley or Allison about some of the benefits and programs? We'll just open it up for the last few minutes here.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, can you hear me? Oops.
Sure can. Yep.
Okay. This is probably a question to Allison. Do you have anything in your training or technical papers on how to attract a younger crowd, to what we do?
Are you thinking? Yes. Yes.
And yeah, so because we're all see a lot of gray hairs here. No offense, but it's certainly nice to have younger people involved. So we are always looking for ways of how to attract. What does it take to attract younger people to what we do?
Well, of course, you are asking the $50 million question, but I can say that ASLH has been doing a lot of work on what's called history relevance, which is sort of about helping organizations think about how to be more relevant to the communities that they serve. And those communities, of course, the demographics of those communities are different than the demographics of our volunteer corps and all of that. So I don't know if Ashley, there's anything specific related to that you'd like to share?
Absolutely. So that's great, Allison. I appreciate that. So yes, History Relevance campaign is an ongoing campaign that is going to help with that. The two other things I want you to be aware of is our Reframing History project. And so with Reframing History, we've created this toolkit that will get you to rethink how you are doing different topics at your site. And how you can reframe them, particularly with the 250th anniversary of the country coming up. And so Reframing History in our 250th series will have different webinars, and we'll have some online courses, but a lot of that is going to be geared toward how do we rethink about these spaces, our institutions in this new day and age. And a lot of that conversation is going to be about audience and how to rethink your institution with all the different audiences that you now have to serve. So we've built that larger $50 million question within all the content that we're creating surrounding Reframing History and the 250th anniversary. So I'll try to stick some of this in the chat, links to the website, so that you can read through that and download that toolkit to get you started.
Yeah,
We'll share those links for sure in the
Okay.
follow-up email as well. Yeah.
Is there anything on, of course, today you got to almost instantaneous reach out with this and touch base. I was intrigued by, I noticed on the site, they have a virtual tour, started a virtual tour where they have, it was on remembrance, it was on the incarceration of Japanese.
Yeah.
And I was intrigued on that, is if that's something, some kind of a reach out to younger people, if they are more attracted to that kind of thing over, visiting a physical museum.
Yeah. So Mark, I'm going to also, when I follow up in my email today, share the link to our YouTube channel. We have some trainings on how to make, do virtual tours, create them. If you want to get into TikTok, we've got a session on how, what museums, how museums are using TikTok, stuff like that. So between us and ASLH, I think we can help. Yeah. Thanks for asking those great questions. It's on everybody's mind, right? We're going to take Joe's question and then we'll probably have to wrap up.
Thank you, Allison. This is for Jay. When you were talking about what you expect each organization to do, you said the annual survey and then attending at least 3 programs annually. Can some of that be virtual? Does it have to be in person? What's the story there?
Great question. And I think it was Carol also asked that question via email once we sent out our materials. Yes, it can definitely be virtual or in person. So 2 things I'll mention. We've through the pandemic, and Allison in particular has been working really hard to offer accessible virtual programming through common concerns, collection concerns, those types of things. So yes, that definitely counts. And then second, as part of this program, we want to try to do more stuff around the state as we're kind of hopefully coming out of the pandemic and being able to do some more on-site traveling and work. So Allison mentioned, collections tour here in Tacoma, and she's trying to set one up at the Northwest MAC. Both of those would count too. So it's more just touch points with us in any programming we're offering, virtual, in person, hopefully in person, more as we move forward.
Thank you.
Great question.
And Carol had also asked if it needed to be the same representative from the organization attending those 3 and how we'll kind of track it. Not at all. I mean, it can be, you can divvy it up and you can each take one, or I always love it when more than one person attends one of our sessions, because then you guys can talk about it and debrief together. But I know that that's a luxury. Everybody's time is super valuable and limited. So you all know how to. Oh, go ahead, Jay.
I was just gonna say, we're not really gonna be taking attendance and tracking and things. What we'll probably do is on the annual survey, we'll just say, which things did a person from your organization attend? And so the person filling out the survey hopefully will have kind of a sense of who attended what. It like Allison said, it doesn't have to be the same person, but just a bit of an, self-report out of what you did and what you did attend that year is our plan.
Mostly that's useful for us to know that these benefits are actually being used and useful, and you guys are finding them helpful. Okay, that was a lot of information. You all know how to find me. I'm going to send out an email, hopefully before the end of the today, maybe tomorrow, first thing tomorrow, with the link to this session for you to share with your colleagues, with links to ASLH and all those programs that Ashley mentioned, Reframing History, History Relevance, and you can just feel free to reply to that email with any questions. I want to thank Ashley and Ray so much for being here today, all the way from Nashville. And I know that they're available to answer questions as well. And I think with that, I'm going to let y'all go, and thank you so much for your time this morning and for your interest in this program. All right. Take care, everyone.